Welcome on in. Welcome on in. I do apologize for the late start, but welcome on in. We are here to cover Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, Dance of the Dragons, however you want to call it. Season 3, Episode 1, this live. Make sure when you come on in, you please hit that like button one good time. We have a lot to cover. And there's a lot of things that I think we may have missed because it was so much happening, so much having to be, juggled around. It is a battle. Two main battles. Battle at the Gullet. And then we have Daemon out here with his own battle with the Lords of the Riverlands. Okay? And then we're going to get into it. So I'm gonna, make sure you hit that like one good time. Trey is on his way. Okay. So he is here. Lord Trey Snow is here. How are you, Lord Trey Snow?
Y'all back. Yeah, right. It's good to see everyone. It's good to be back.
I promise y'all that is not why we're late. We are not late because he doesn't have a squire, okay? We are not late because Trey doesn't have a squire. I'm the reason we're late today. But it certainly helped with him trying to get into his chainmail. How are you today, Lord Snow?
Well, it's been a long day. Many battles has been forged. So many battles has been won. We are here to discuss other battles and trials and foolishness and ridiculousness. So, besides that, pretty good. My lady, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. I have photos and everything for us to go through what has been happening, but I'm doing well. There's a lot to discuss apart from what we saw on the screen, and that has me truly excited for this conversation because I know you definitely can follow down this rabbit hole.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's start off real hot. Let's start off hot and heavy. In the Red Keep, Alicent comes back home. She's expecting her plan to be on par. She done told Rhaenyra, come on through. I'ma hand you over Aegon. And yeah, you're going to get the Red Keep, and I'm going to send, Aemond off on an errand to Harrenhal. So she comes in. It's quiet. And King Aegon is nowhere in sight. Not only that, Aemond almost ended Maester Orlin because he's like, where is he? My brother. I know you had something to do with him not being in his bed when I came to slay. So she walked into the throne room and found Aemond with the legendary sword, the king's sword, and sitting on the throne, and she is shooketh. He is sitting there with Dark Sister. And she is shooketh. Oh, no, sorry. No, Daemon has Dark Sister. I'm sorry. So what did you think about that moment when Alicent walked in and realized that, wait a minute, Rhaenyra gonna think I'm a liar?
It's being it. This whole fiasco was dumb from the inception. Okay? It started from that last season jaunt she took the Dragonstone, and they came up with this cockamamie plan. Which, if you notice, relied on too many factors that none of them truly controlled. None. This is but since we're talking about that scene, I guess she came there, she did her little trip, You know, she said, "Hey, the king has summoned you." She's heading up to the bedchambers where he's supposed to be, cause she don't know that he done whoop, 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 with her boy toy, her foot fetish man. You know what I'm saying? The
Lord Strong,
escorted,
the current Lord Strong.
He has escorted with the king. Wow. Okay.
Wonder what them feet look
Mind
like.
you, this particular scene does not happen till a much later book. We ain't talk about that right now. They gone. Everybody knows that they gone. Which in this particular story, it kind of makes sense. You wake up the king gone the next morning. Where he at? He at? She goes into her room, sees Aemon sitting upon the Iron Throne. She didn't expect to see Aemon. They just said the king awaits your audience. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Let's talk about this now, okay? I don't care if the king escorted, abdicated, or was escorted. That does not make Aemon king. He technically, those technically's out, he technically cannot be king until Aegon is gone. Like, and we know that he's gone, not assumed. Out of here. So for them even saying the king awaits you in the audience chamber. What? In the throne room? What do you mean? That's just foolish. Now, what should have happened was they should have said the king reaching, he could do that. He could do that. He can actually, legally. He could do that. He said the regent.
But why? Why? Either call me king or I feed you the Vhagar.
He can never be king. I ain't calling you king. He can feed me the Vhagar all he wants to. You ain't no king. Okay? Okay? This is the problem. You ain't a king. All right?
Lord Snow, did you realize the parallels of seeing him on that throne?
It was a lot of parallels drawn. To who specific?
There are a lot of parallels this episode between Aemon and Daemon.
Oh, was that too on the nose, everybody? It sickened me, personally. It sickened me. This story is getting on my nerves.
I know what they're doing. Visually, they're putting us on a path that the both of them are kind of like the same. Because now both of them are second sons. Both of them, their brother's the king. Both of them have designs on the throne in different ways because Daemon loved his brother. And both of them, the brothers, are disfigured. I'm just saying.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of parallels. They're trying to push us through for the Aemon and Daemon. One got the D in the front and one got the D in the back, y'all. That's just how you got to figure it out.
Now, mind you, they're purposely trying to push us to this, okay? This is forced. And you can feel that it's forced. It's forced. Okay? Forced. They are not, in my eye point, even on this show version, let's keep it real. They're not equals.
No, they're not.
Aemon wants to be his uncle so bad it ain't even funny.
But he can't be.
He can't be Daemon. He ain't got that energy. Nah, he ain't him.
And that's also why he stole Vhagar, because remember, Vhagar was Daemon's wife's dragon for a long time. Again, he so wants to be so close to Daemon. He's doing all the things in the wrong way. But the second sons, you remember,
he didn't steal Vhagar. He didn't steal Vhagar. If you're going to be fair about it, he didn't steal Vhagar. He claimed Vhagar.
He claimed Vhagar before anyone else.
Exactly. Fair and square. It was fair and square. She was unclaimed dragon.
She was in mourning and he just jumped on her back, whatever,
She didn't just jump on her back. She allowed him up there. She allowed him because she wanted to. She would have, and that'd have been it.
We will agree to disagree. Her emotions are high. She is very, anxious. She does want another dragon rider. and she just allowed it to happen. Okay, she was
That
she was
old,
she was in sorrow.
that old horny bitch. No, whatever. She just want to lay about. I'm tired. What the heck y'all bother me for? Okay, but you seem cool. I like your energy. Come on, get up. Let's go for a ride. And they
Speaking
bother.
of speaking of get on up and go for a ride. Amond is being finessed by his mother this entire episode. I need to get
It's,
my things, all my things in a row, and you getting up out of here. So she is faking the love. She is faking the love because it's after the fact that she realized from her daughter that, Amond is truly scared and terrified. And
and
it's
I still don't
after
think she listens to her daughter.
she wrote this letter.
Hmm.
She wrote this letter, and we're going to dive into the letter a little bit later, but she wrote this letter to her cousin and him, telling him he is the beacon of the South. Is the flattery for me. And,
Listen, Allison is a full off traitor by this point. Let's just keep it real, okay?
because she
That's
does
fine.
acknowledge him as King Aemond in this photo, in this signature, King Aemond Targaryen, first of his name.
The best.
So yes, she is.
Full off
So yes,
traitor.
she is.
Everything. It's just wow. Wow.
But full on traitor, we see that he does seek his mother's love, affection. He does seek for his mother's, he wants her to be proud of him and see him in a favorable light. And she says, everything, you should have been king. You're my favorite boy. And I think it sends him back to the point where she stabbed Rhaenyra's hand in defense of him. And so he has a warped sense, so he decides to show her affection the only way he thinks affection should be shown, and that he kisses his mother in front of the fire.
I got this. I was so disgusted. And not for the reasons for what I saw on the screen. Prepare yourselves. Verses. I am now in a firm belief that, and I'll explain after why I say this. I am in a firm belief that it's not these characters doing these grotesque things that we need to worry about. It's people who's writing this, having these characters doing these grotesque things that we need to worry about. This is what's on your mind? They did this twice already now. Again, parallels. They did this twice already. Last season was Daemon his mama. That was a dream, though.
I can see it with Aemond, though. Remember who was the person that he would frequent at the brothel?
I get what you're saying. I'm gonna just say this. It was many, many, many years ago. We're gonna call him the Lord God author, the Lord of Light himself, the author, was on a panel, wrote this stuff. He was asked one time, about the incest family, this, that, third. And an audience member asked him, like, you never had like a mother-daughter, a father-daughter, mother-son. He was like, and I never will. And he was like, well, why is that? You already got brother-son. He was like, he explained it. He was like, well, you got to understand, in their culture, the breeding of brother to sister or aunt to uncle or uncle to niece, whatever, that's to keep the bloodline. It's trying to keep the bloodline pure. It's out of necessity, not really a love thing. Love may come between the two people later on, but in most cases, they're just put together to keep certain family ties done. But even for the not Targaryens, but even for the Valyrian history, it is still faux pas for mother, son, father, daughter. They don't do that. That's where they draw the line at. Brother, sister, yeah, uncle, niece, nephew, cousins, fine. But if the immediate parental parent, nah. So when I saw this, I went, what are we doing?
You see,
Actually, I said this last season. We talked about this. I was like, what are we doing?
I didn't see
What
it.
are we
I
doing?
didn't see it as they, showed it as more parental incestuous. I saw it as he was showing. Yes, he was showing affection. I don't like it. I'm with you. I don't like it, but it falls in line with the character. He wasn't trying to sleep with his mother. It was a deep kiss on lips. It's like I'm wigged out by parents who even kiss their small children on the mouth.
Yeah, it's a little
I'm
strange.
wigged out by that.
This else, my lady. What if he would have pushed further? What would happen?
The
You think Allison would
problem
say
I
no?
have, Allison would not say no. She couldn't.
Exactly.
She couldn't. She's in
Not
a
especially at
powerless
this
position.
moment. The way they set this up, she had to do what she had to do to get him out of there.
Right. And she was crying, and I could imagine her trembling, thankful that it was just a kiss that she had to do.
But the fact that I can clearly see and set this up, if they really wanted to push that further,
Yes.
it worries me not only for them writing this, but just the characters themselves doing this.
But
Allison,
I didn't think it would go further because he did want Helena, his sister. That's who he truly wanted to be with, and that falls in line to their traditions.
Well, you missed the point. Remember, Aemon wants to be Daemon, so he wants everybody he wants. It doesn't matter.
Well,
No, think about how Daemon moved. He didn't care. Hey, what he want, he won't.
Yeah, but he didn't want Helena, and that's a key difference.
But Daemon and Viserys actually didn't have a sister for them to be fighting over in the first place.
Exactly.
Emma was their cousin. Cousin by Aaron's side.
Fight over her either. So
no, because Emma loved Viserys. That was cool. Right. It's cool with that.
Right. Now, again, remember, Aemon did prefer the madam at the brothel. She does have dark hair. She's older, more motherly. His preference was for her to show him kind of motherly affection. And
he did her, though.
Right. Fun fact, though. The lady who played the madam that Aemon liked is actually the acting coach for Christian Cole's actor.
She's doing a good job.
Fun fact. She did an excellent job. We're going to get there. So on the road, we have several people on the road. So this is my next title is On the Road. The Fugitive King. We see that Aegon and Larys are hiding in a cart with ravens. Aegon is miserable. He is in pain. And I think Larys intentionally didn't bring no milk of the puppy.
Perhaps, yeah. He got to wean him off of that. Yeah, he got to rein him off of that. He's becoming an addict on it. He could become an addict on that stuff. So no, yeah, you need to sit through the pain, learn how to deal with it, and think clearly. So yeah, that makes sense for him to do that.
Yeah, we don't need no addle-brain king, but they are stopped by House Stunton of the Crownlands, and their main house is at Rook's Rest, where we just had the battle that Meleys fell. So imagine that. Now we got to head in that direction, and we're being stopped by the people where I just got, fried extra crispy. And they're telling me, and even the guy who said it, bow your knee and, pledge fealty to the queen and denounce the usurper. He didn't even look like he really wanted to do that. But when forced to kneel, Larys went down real quick.
Yeah, bro. Mm-hmm.
Aegon said,
It was the right move to do. Here come Mr. Proud over here.
Aegon's like, I ain't doing it. Whatever. And he gets punched up a little bit. And Larys recognizes we're in a precarious position, tells them this is the king. His crown in the bag. And now Aegon want to be like, no, he ain't telling the truth. There's somebody lying. But Larys also saves them by saying, hey, if you deliver us alive, your queen would love it. And Trey and I know what's coming. But this sets up a wonderful thing of taking them to Dragonstone. They're being escorted to Dragonstone. It's a good setup though, Trey.
Nah, it's a terrible setup. Let me ask you. I was going to ask you this question. Let me tell you why. Before we saw this, right? Where was Laris going? Where was Laris taking them to?
Laris
Why
was
was he
taking
taking them?
I don't know.
That's my point. You see, in the actual story, when Laris ensconced with the king, it's because Rhaenyra and we might as well tell the future because it's about to happen. They done said it. How it's about to go down. Changes didn't happen, but it's about to happen. Rhaenyra and Daemon, along with the rest of the Dragon Riders, show up at King's Landing, surround the city, and the rest of the Courtless fleet. They're coming. It's a done deal. This is when Laris, ensconced with the king, gets him the heck up out of there. So when he disappears, it's a real disappearance. Like, oh, snap. Okay, cool. Aemon is already gone in the field because he was supposed to meet Sir Kristen Cole out in the field. He actually does do that. Keeps his word and does that. Okay? This is before Rhaenyra came in and swooped in and took the city without them knowing. So Aemon felt like a fool. Laris took the king and they disappeared. It was always his plan. He told the king. We learned afterwards. He told the king, well, since Rhaenyra has already taken the capital, that means she had to leave a small force at Dragonstone. So we're going to go where she's not. And that's why they go. So when they did this a little too early, I was waiting on, okay, what is Laris going to say? He has to say something. You just can't take the king and don't tell him where we're going. What's the plan?
Where he said what I said I didn't know. I knew he was taking him to Dragonstone as part of the story.
Yes.
I didn't know where. I couldn't remember where he had told him in season 1, in season 2.
He didn't. That was my cusp of the issue last year when they did it, and I was like, okay, I know where he's going, but he never said.
I thought he was going, where's the bank? He said he depleted all of the treasures of the House Strong into the bank. And I thought he was heading to the bank.
Jace, is it Jason Lannister? He was the one with the Triarchy.
Right. I thought that's where Laris was going, to the bank. I need to go get my money.
But that was the problem. We didn't know. We didn't know. They never said.
I thought that was a way of telling us that's where they're going.
I'm not making assumptions. You better tell us where you're going. Or at least when they showed up this season, while it was in that cart, I thought Larry was going, okay, we're going to head. I know a few people here. This house is still loyal. We're going to hide out here and move quietly from house to house until we get to a place, But when they did this, I knew, I'm sorry, I have to say it, I knew they wrote themselves into a small little corner that I'm seeing that they're trying to write themselves out of now and trying to make it make sense. Now, this was somewhat of a good cover.
Yes, it is. That's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm kind of like on it. But the weird thing is, you just expose yourself to Queen Rhaenyra's men. Main part of Express.
But now he's in a wagon with ravens.
Now, which is even worse than what I'm about to say. What are they supposed to do right now? Is immediately send a raven to Dragonstone announcing we have King Aegon here. Remember, she's still there.
Yes, but you don't know if anybody on the road there know how to even write or read.
That's true, but like we said, but he serves a certain house. That's to that house. Somebody's going to be there. He has to report that.
I just remembered. He said he lied to them, saying we're going to the Sept. He lied to them on the road and said we're going to the Sept and we bring in these ravens.
Yeah,
that was the lie.
Told them on the road. It was a bad. Like I said, I see what the setup is. I just think it was just a slightly poorly executed, especially since you just changed the storyline just a bit. See, beforehand, the original story, it made sense. Perfect sense why he left. He had to get up out of there. She was coming. Hey, let's just go where she's not. Okay, now you left early. You have to explain where you're going. What are you going to do?
And she would never look for you on Dragonstone. That's the
True.
other thing.
And that's going to be the thing. But now, the way they set it up, in my mind, I'm like, even I'm just a regular soldier, I can't read. Usually your rules of operation, or if we got somebody, yeah, I'm looking to get a reward, but I have to report it on the next chain up. I have to. Because you don't want it to come out that,
but it's
you
chaos
had
at the
the
castle. It's
not right now. Well, which castle?
Their castle.
Rook's Rest? Yes.
Rook's Rest.
But still, you have to report it.
You do have to report it, and you have to escort him there. You got to leave some soldiers there.
Yeah, and the Lord
people
of
that you just executed, and then you got to take them.
Yeah, the Lord of Rook's Rest is still alive. At this point. He's still alive.
He is.
So you got to report that. If he sees Aegon, immediately you send a Raven, and Dragonstone's right there.
But we also, to remind the people, we also still have Sunfire close by, recuperating from her own wounds. That is Aegon's dragon.
Yeah, and
we might see her next. We might see her next episode.
I think that, to me, when I'm looking at this, I think I see what they're trying to do. He's captured right now, but they're gonna pass Sunfire or near Sunfire, and somehow, some way, he's gonna magically get away.
No, it's not just somehow, some way. You saw it in the previews where he is part of, they ambush the fellas that were escorting them. You saw him and Laris ambushing the guys.
With who?
No. By themselves. But I don't know. I don't know. We only saw the scene of him.
Yeah, we got to see how the setup going to go.
Exactly. We saw him poking someone and say, I am the king. Some kind of speech.
But how it's set up right now, you better plan this. This better look good, because they off the rest of their guys that was with them.
Yes.
So it's just him and Laris. So something's going to have to happen. Some rebel sympathizers, something. It's going to have to show up.
Sympathizers, or he put some coin there and say, "I'm the king, and I will, knight you or lord you or whatever." He could. He has some bargaining chips.
They should have did that here then.
No, there's too many men. Too many men.
Oh, you talking to a singular guy, something like? Okay, maybe.
Right. The three or four that's going to be escorting them.
I say that's a lot of holes and rings you got to jump around to do all this. But whatever.
I just don't understand how people don't know Loris, considering that he has his foot that is very noticeable.
Yeah.
How did they not know who he was? But again,
there's a lot.
Information. Yeah, that information.
There's a lot of foolishness. There's a lot of foolishness going around that we just have to assume. And
right.
Sorry. What's the first letter of assumptions? AS says don't be that. Okay.
Well, here's somebody who didn't have to make assumptions. Gwaine Hightower. When he comes into camp with Christian Cole, he confronts Christian Cole because he saw a soldier take advantage, defile a village maiden, and say, "Cole, hey, get your man in check, get your men's of them in check." But Cole doesn't care anymore. Cole does not care. And here's the thing where I know Cole doesn't care. And I find it very telling. Cole is sitting there painting his shield with his house sigil. Cole is part of the King's Guard. Not only that, he is hand to the king. When you are hand to the king, it's just like a man of the Night's Watch. You no longer have a house. You can no longer... Right, he's King's Guard. You can no longer bear children. You no longer have a house. Your house is the king's house. So Cole reverting back to his house and his house sigil is definitely like, what is going on here, Cole? You the King's Guard. Have you renounced it?
Well, first of all, two big things. Cole hasn't been an honorable man in a long behind time. Okay? So him doing this is not that shocking to me. It's just, I think the part that got me, that got him, was what Sir Grain said about being a knight. That bothered Cole
Yes.
just a little bit. And it had me sitting there thinking, are they going to do a small mini redemption Cole here? He's about to be, I say episode 3 or 4, he's gone. Cole is out of here.
Yeah. Cole is
out of here.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be a moment. He's about to have a little moment. Like, I realize how much I have besmirched my honor. He's about to have one of those moments.
Says we all become beasts before the end.
Yeah, but then Gwen hit him with the something that he used to believe in.
Said we only become beasts if we, allow our baser morals. If we or we abandoned our higher morals. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Cole didn't feel it, but he went back to painting.
Yeah, now, he's mad. He's mad. He's like, God, I hate when he's right.
Now, Cole is part of House Dondorian. Cole is the son of the steward that was at Blackhaven, and that is close to Dorne, y'all. So y'all know exactly remember where Cole is from, because we knew that back in season 1. Also on the road, okay, is Ormond Hightower and his army. The first time we see him, a messenger is coming through. The messenger is coming through to give him this note, this letter. Ormond, the beacon of the South. Okay? You are to wait. Do not come to the Red Keep. Okay? Okay? He is writing to him from the throne of his brother, and stand and wait my instructions. I mean, all I gotta say is we are in for a treat with this character. Okay, we are in for a treat with Ormond. If y'all thought the Hightowers were wild before, Ormond is going to say, "Hold my beer." But Ormond, to let y'all know, is the son of Otto Hightower, the former hand of the king, the granddaddy to the king, and father to Alicent. Ormond is the son of Otto's older brother. He is Otto's nephew, Alicent's cousin. His sword is called Vigilance. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. Now with him, when we are looking at him, to his left is Bold John Roxton. His sword is the Orphan Maker. Now he goes head to head with a major character later on in the season, in the book. So please keep an eye on John Roxton, because he's going to be rocking people's world a little bit later in this season, if not the next one. Now, Darren is there, which is Alicent's her last son. He is to the right of Ormond, and they made a change, Trey. He is black of hair. But it's not just his black of hair that I have a question about. Why is his dragon, Tessarion, caged up at the camp with the dragon tamer?
I hate it.
Why is the dragon?
I hate it.
Why is this dragon?
We know why.
Know that.
We know what they just did. I'm upset. We know what they just did. Darren is supposed to be the third son of Alicent and Viserys. He's supposed to have blonde hair and his dragon and cobalt blue and all this, blah, blah, blah. And what we said this last season, what we were afraid they were going to do when we talked about this. And they did it. I'm a little upset. Okay? I'm a little upset. Here's specifically why. Here's why. Okay? We know whose real son that is. That's Christian Cole's son. Okay? It's Christian Cole's son. Number one. Number two.
Wait a minute. If that's Christian Cole's son, how he become a dragon rider?
Now this goes to why you just brought that up. He ain't a real dragon rider. They're fronting out here. There's a reason, like you said. There's a reason, like you said, the dragon all chained up, crossed up with a dragon tamer out there. Okay? Now the funny thing, I put it like this. I guarantee you, I would be shocked if this happens. And they better not do it. But the way they're going with this, I would guarantee you would never see him ride that dragon.
They will show it. He is riding the dragon.
And that is bad.
It is.
I'm gonna roast the heck out of it. I'm gonna roast the heck out.
But you know, there's some Targaryens that are black of hair, Trey. We just came from a Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And so there is.
Still have to have a Targaryen or some type of Valerian lineage.
Well, we don't know Christian Cole's entire lineage. You know, he from the south there by Dorne.
Yes, we do. He's from Dorne. There ain't no dragon seeds down there. Okay, that's facts. Okay, no. This see, this is my first moment. I'm about to have another when we get to who know who. Why, my lady? Why would you do this? Why would you do this?
He has to. He has to have a dragon, or that
of course he has to.
That proves that Alicent did not have a Targaryen baby.
No. See, okay. Here's where the problem comes into play. You're trying to set us up to be like, you know what? Technically, anybody can be a dragon rider. When in the true history, that's a no. You gotta have some type of Valerian blood in your system for even a dragon to even look at you right. Something got to be up in there.
Here's the thing: when Ormond says, "I don't care who's on the throne," it also leads to the fact of I don't care who fathered my cousin's last baby.
I don't care either.
The problem is that dragon.
Now that I know.
That dragon, like put in that, kind of cell with those pieces of wood with the dragon tamer. I said, y'all done messed up.
This never should have happened. This is bad.
Ever.
This is bad. Okay, this is very bad for the history, for the writing. This is ruining this. Okay, I'm sorry. This is ruining this.
It is.
Okay,
it is.
No. There's a reason why certain things are set up from these books a certain way, okay? Because even if you have some Valerian blood in your system, it still is not it's not easy to tame a dragon.
The dragon shouldn't have hatched. And it tells us
how.
You know how it hatched.
How?
You know how it hatched. The same dragon tamers, they hatch eggs. Every so often. Process. Yes,
there's a process. But a lot of times that process doesn't work. A lot of the time. You trying to tell me, you know what? This is pissing me off. I'm trying to concentrate because I'm
okay. Well, we can move on because we have a lot more to cover.
I just say I'll be glad when what happens. Off this immediately. Off it immediately. I was so mad. I told you last time we had talked about last season, like he better come up with some blonde hair. I said he better have some blonde hair.
When I saw him, I know you were going to have a conniption, but let's move on because we have a lot to cover, which is part 3, which is the battle at the Gullet. Okay, battle at the Gullet.
Oh, wait. We ain't gonna go back to setup of it. Well, we're just gonna add in her with the battle. Ray.
Which her?
Ray.
Oh, we gonna add her in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to start off this battle, the Sea Snake comes through with his ship, and that is his home on the left-hand side in the distance. Okay. But he changed the front of his ship to honor his wife who has passed away. Rhaenys, that is to honor her, and he's off to battle. Now, while he's off to battle, okay, he's out here thinking, we gonna be, with the Lannisters, the Greyjoys, we gonna be handling their fleet. So that's why y'all see him without his armor in the beginning. And then he has a conversation with his son. Okay. He has a conversation, a very moving conversation. And he says, I tried to provide a life for you. I'm sorry. I loved your mother for the time we had. But he said, you may have provided a life, but you never provided your name.
Good.
That is
Good.
the setup. Yeah, that's the total setup for them to give or him to earn the name. Now here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Look at this, y'all. This is Ib. Okay? This is where Ib is in the whole makeup of the land. Now I gotta find my Ib notes. Ib is all the way out there. This is where he got the drink that he said he's sharing with his son. The Ib wine. Oh, but here's the thing. In the books, how old is his son, Trey, at this point?
Alan?
Yeah, Alan is 15 in the books.
They're around 15, 16 years old.
Right. So Alfred him
no, 17 and 16.
I read it was 15 in the books. Okay. But the island is very large, y'all. It's about the size of Dorne. It's a remote location with very harsh conditions. The local Ibanese people are hardy folk and maintain a very large fleet of whaling ships that they are traders across the oceans. That's why they have that drink. They sell the whale fat and oils. And that's where he got. I wanted us to see where this island was in relation to all of Westeros. Westeros is the long white, portion coming from the center, from top to bottom. That's Westeros, and you see how far Ib is across the seas. I also want to show y'all the Triarchy. This is where the Triarchy is from. Triarchy, three people. And if y'all remember, this is who Corlys was battling the last time with Daemon and his son in early parts of season 1. So when he hears the ships are coming, he's like, okay, we good. But then his son tells him it's the Triarchy. He knows they're out for revenge. He knows this is a formidable force, and these are the three pieces that make up the Triarchy. Okay? Now, the leader of the Triarchy at this point is Admiral Lohar. That's who she is, and her ship is called the Beach Fist. Yes, y'all heard me. The Bee Fist. That is the name of her ship. And she is fearless, and she is not the only fearless woman that we are going to come across in this season. I need y'all to buckle up for the ladies, okay? Okay. Now, she's having a conversation with Lord Lannister, telling him, yeah, we gonna end the Sea Snake's home. We gonna burn it all up. That's why we here, to get our revenge. And Lannister's like, that's not why we here. We here to block them from blocking us. She's like, yeah, whatever. I'm here. I'm doing what I want. Okay. So word gets to Rhaenyra on Dragonstone that the Triarchy is going out to meet Corlys, is out there meeting Corlys. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna ride my dragon. And they're like, this is the trap. This is the first layer of the trap. And her son, Jace
said, now the trap has closed, which is true. It was, and the funny thing, it was a trap that Alicent was a part of. When they first dreamed this up, almost towards the end of first season, when they was talking about it.
Yes.
Never mentioned that, though.
Jaguar. Good to see you again, Jaguar.
Never mentioned that part.
Yeah, because Alicent told them, she did say it in the council, and I did make a note of it. Alicent had told them the Triarchy are not to be trusted. She told them.
They did it anyway. And she was there when they did it. They did it. But that is something you should have told them since you was there telling everything else that they were coming. But whatever, it happened. They show up. Jay said, nah, it's the trap.
So because he believes it's a trap and she shouldn't go out there, and he's thinking you gonna end up being, done like Maylee's and them, he decides to lock his mother in her chambers and use her queen's guard to do the deed in a desperate move in order for them to fly out. So he locks Rhaenyra, he locks Rhaenyra in her quarters, takes to the sky in Vermax, and Baela follows him on Moondancer. That's them, y'all, heading into the battle.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because I've been noticing this, this particular conversation, which is kind of funny, going across online or whatever. The fact that they, at least in this show version, they keep downplaying Rhaenyra, locking her up, shit, they're not following her orders, this is queen, this, that, and third, and they're using this as another example of it. This was a bit weird to me, because in this particular instance, I agreed with Jace, just like I agreed back last season with Rook's Rest. There's no reason your behind should have been up out of there, okay? No, none. You are the queen. And people been using this argument. They would never say that to a man, this, that, third, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I had to do some quick research. Think about this.
They would say it.
In the history, maybe. But this is Westeros and Westeros history we're talking about on this show, not another show. There's been only 3 kings that have themselves as king, as actual king, led troops in the battle. Robert Baratheon, when they fought against the Greyjoy Rebellion.
Right.
And technically, Ned Stark was leading that, but we're going to leave that alone. He was there, so he's
as
king.
He was there as king.
He was there as king, so we're gonna give him that. We're gonna give him that. But it's Robert Baratheon, Jaehaerys the First Targaryen. And the only reason why he had to lead troops in the battle was because his son was fighting one of the Vulture Kings, both of his sons. And his son had got injured and got off. So, which leads to this whole Dance of Dragon situation. That's why all this kind of happened. His son got off, and it caused a lot of problems with the army. So he had to leave Alicent because they was on a royal progress. Actually, it was on the way to the north, actually. She was supposed to meet him. She was supposed to meet her in the north. That's when she went to the wall and tried to go across the wall and all that stuff. Couldn't go. He had to divert and go down to south because they was fighting the Vulture King, who was a Dornishman, in the Red Mountains. And they had to reroute everyone, get everybody back on sides. And basically, he fought, but basically they kind of sealed him into some caves by burning some things down, blah, blah, blah. But technically, he had to take over and lead a battle. The only other king in Westerosi history that led troops into battle is Aegon Targaryen, Aegon the First, the Conqueror. And that's a technicality. That's a technicality. Because actually, he wasn't crowned king until they took Old Town. The first official time. Here's when he was crowned king.
People bent the knee.
And technically, he didn't fight another battle after that.
What is he fighting? He got 3 dragons. He and his 2 sisters. Yeah, come on now.
Surprising. It was out there. Yeah, it was out there. Yeah, but most of the battles were fought after that point. By the time he was crowned,
his sisters fought more battles than him. Trey.
Yes, a lot more, especially for senior. They was in the field, but when he was crowned, that kind of stopped. Even in the Dornish wars afterwards.
Yes.
That's when the first the Rhaenys lost her life. Yes. And Marassus got shot in the boat in the eye. My point being, in Westerosi history, the king has always been protected like this. Even the king. There's been plenty of times where other kings say, I should go out lead the battle and say, no, no, no. Allow your hand to go, this Lord Commander to go, this to go. So what Jace did, what he was saying to her, honestly was absolutely right. No,
Right.
Mom, you need to stay, because if you're gone, all of this is for nothing.
Well, you will finally get to rule and be king. He don't want,
And
he
that's
didn't want
stupid.
ready for that. Really?
That's dumb.
But he
Okay.
also smelling himself, because remember, Jace also went against her by going to the Twin Towers, okay, and negotiating for them to walk through the Reach,
Thank God
negotiating
he did
for
that.
the Silver Wolves. Huh?
Thank goodness he did that.
Right. So he's also feeling like I am making wise decisions
He
for
was.
my mother's reign, so I can make this wise decision. I negotiate with the phrase. And here's the thing that I didn't like about the whole Jace story that they're leaving out for us.
So much is left out.
He does fall in love in Winterfell.
Rumors, but yeah,
Yeah.
rumors,
Rumors. But anyway, we had the Battle of the Gullet. We got Lord Corlys, okay, and I have a few photos of Lord Corlys, okay. He is in his battle armor, and if y'all look in the middle of his, neck breastplate, he don't need a breastplate stretcher like Robert, but he has his symbol, the hand of the queen, because he is her hand, and he's got his armor on because he found out the people at the Triarchy are there, okay. Now again, the ship is his ship is honoring his wife, and he decides I need to get these Triarchy people kind of off my back. So he sees everybody says dragons are coming, and then he realizes the dragons are hitting the Triarchy ships. Okay, that again is Jace and his granddaughter leading their dragons. Now, here's the thing. Corlys decides, I didn't hear anybody talking about this either, Trey. Corlys decides we are going to, get the heck up out of here. Corlys has battled with dragons many a time. With Daemon, with his own son, who had a dragon. He's battled the Triarchy before with dragons. So he kind of knows and interprets, but he ain't know it's these youngins, or he ain't battled with these youngins before.
Yep. Well, okay. Now we get into strategic stuff. Okay. From his standpoint, it kind of doesn't matter which dragon comes. The fact that they're there is a boon for his side. Now, even though it's these two that came, everything was still going pretty well. Okay? Everything's going pretty well. He knew that Laura, what's the name? It's pronounced
Lohar.
Sorry. He knew Lohar wanted him. He knew she wanted him
bad.
Okay? So to me, he figured correctly. If we pull away from the fleet, she would chase us. And without them, their fleet would be a little bit more rudderless. Okay? Because they fight more like pirates. They're very good, but they fight more like pirates. Okay? Yes. The Valerian fleet, even with him not there, knows how to fight with him not there.
Yes.
Okay? They still know how to, it's chain of command kind of thing. Next man up, y'all take command, y'all know what to do. So he knew they was probably going to be okay. Now, what he didn't know was what Lohar's plan was. She only sent a part of her force to attack him head on. She sent another force to the north to attack his home, which was a good psychological thing that she did.
Do you think he will be as focused as he is once he sees his home is aflame? When she said that, I was like, oh, Lohar, while you're eating your fruit, she telling him, the Lannister, you don't know everything that's going on. Let me fight my battle, please.
The funny thing is, both sides as far as sea battles concerned, it's probably one of the best ones I've seen on film.
Phenomenal.
Both sides acted, reacted, and counter reacted perfectly to what you probably should do in these situations. Both
Based
sides
on
did.
based on this comment, the sea snake did his thing, maneuvering the ships through the rocks and
Oh, he was getting that.
shallow waters. I got to show you all the other picture I got because Corliss, the sea snake, he know what he doing. He's using his crystal to look at the sun. He trying to figure out how high or low the tide is, and he gonna figure it out, and he gonna steer this ship. But here's the thing about Corliss that I don't think everybody is truly talking about or understanding. Corliss don't have to throw people over. Corliss knows his men. He knows his ships. He knows the tide. He knows those rocks through there. He knows the weight. He knows the weight of everything. So when the man who was steering his ship just couldn't steer it really, he took his hand and he was gentle, like, go sit down over there. Okay, go sit over there. He was able to guide his ship. And that finally, I guess, for his son, solidified the respect. And it also, his men understood because he don't even know that she tossing men overboard or she tossing Lannisters overboard. He just focused on getting my crew through here. And it's all, as you said, it's all about communication. The man throws the rope, gives him a reading. The guy in the nest gives him a reading as for the tides and the waves. Everybody is speaking and talking, and he is assessing it with his crystal here. And he's saying, hey, this is what I need to do in order to make sure we safely get through here. But he sees his home is aflame and his focus is thrown off.
A little bit. And then his son Alan took over as he's supposed to as second command. Took over and, and started to lead the battle. Took Corliss flat back in. Oh, we fight. Let's get to it. But, everything was done smartly. He navigated his way through. It is Jason Lannister. Yeah, Jason Lannister's like, we can't follow him. And Lohan said the smartest thing. We can if we follow in his wake. Do the exact thing he do. And she knew his ship was heavier than hers, number one. She was the lighter, faster ship, number one. Number two, all she had to do was follow his wake. She could sneak through. Even when they had a little bit of weight, she smartly said, hey, don't wait. Throwing people off. All y'all in armor, you gotta go. Yup. Whoopsie.
Not everybody in armor got to go. I mean, it's like
that's exactly what happened. Everybody, you got to go. Too much weight. How much you weigh in the armor? Whoopsie. Like, yeah, he probably still alive. Actually, I think
he probably is. I think he is still alive because we only saw another soldier hit the rocks, but she lost 2 ships going through there because she took 2 with her.
She knew that was going to happen. She knew that was going to happen.
But they gained on them, as you said. They gained on them. She battled and she batter-rammed him because it was too late to turn, and he was devastated. I don't think he was devastated because it's his home and his castle. I think it's because everything he put in there, he told us, and he told Rhaenys it was all not only his travels, but to honor his wife.
Yeah, that was his. He built Driftmark up to what it is. To that point, that's a lot of labor. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of sailing. He is known as one of the greatest captains of the 9 seas and Planetos is the name of the planet. Planetos. He's one of the greatest captains in the world. He's been to every continent, even UT. Like he's where the Oriental people are, y'all. We've never seen them in Game of Thrones shit. Asian. Mm-hmm. They call them that in the book. That's what That's why.
I understand what they call them in the book, but we have to. Yeah. That's George R.R. Martin vocabulary versus what's politically correct. Okay, y'all. So Corliss is distracted, and his son does take over. But Corliss ain't distracted for long. He does get into the battle. Now, what I do want everybody again to remember, okay, in the end, when all this happens, Lys, y'all see the triarchy, it's Lys, Triosh, and Myr. Lys at the bottom there will have the most ships survive out of this whole battle. And that's going to set off because, they ain't really, loyal to each other. They just get together when it's time to fight the sea snake. So the other two groups, Triage and Myrrh, going to be real salty with Lise that they will feel like Lise sacrificed their two people in order to win this battle that they didn't win. They're going to figure that Lise used this as a way to get rid of their people. I'm just saying, the stepson, the triarchy is going to be dismantled for quite a while after this battle. Okay?
Yeah. There's also another reason why Lise pull out, but we'll get to that much later because that goes to a problem. Another big problem I have, that they fumble.
Yes. Well, speaking of fumble, let's get to the wild card. Let's get to the next time that Trey's going to be like, huh. Now, in all of this, Rhaenyra Targaryen, which is daughter to Daemon, she goes up to the mountain and she finds Sheep Stealer. Now, we know that Sheep Stealer's story has been concocted for television. It is not what is in the books, okay? And we do see that she, they didn't really show us the goat tied up, but that goat was tied up when Sheep Stealer swooped down and charred it up and was looking around to see who here. Okay? Now, this is in the Vale. Sheep Stealer is uncontrollable. It is wild. It is an unleashed dragon. It is an unleashed dragon. This dragon don't know nothing about dragon tamers. Barely know anything about the sounds. And she decides she gonna go with this dragon. Tells the dragon calm, just like we saw Aemond with Vhagar. And she gets on the dragon's back. Now, they say when you first ride the dragon, that's when your bond is solidified. And she is screaming like she ain't never ridden a dragon before. But that's because that dragon was trying to toss her off the entire time. This is a wild dragon that she's trying to sing in High Valyrian. This dragon don't know nobody. So why is it that Rhaenyra, decides that she's going to take this dragon and take this dragon home? It's like, I'm sorry to say, it's like, sorry ladies, okay? It's like taking this dude that don't have no kind of comportment and taking it home to the family and expecting him to behave at the table for Sunday dinner and not piss off your parents. She is bringing a wild dragon. Her desperation for a freaking dragon is bringing a wild dragon into battle, and that is disastrous. Go ahead, Trey. Tell us what you don't like about that.
First off, I know us in the fandom, and I know Elsie will feel this. We got to talk about it. We were robbed of character we were waiting on for many, many years when we knew that they were doing this show. Especially us in the minority community, who was one of our favorite characters from the story that we wanted to see, was little girl Nettles. 13, 14 years old, I think, she was around that age. Black girl. Black of hair, black skin, beautiful little queen. Kind of muddy, dirtied up when you first meet her, but she's the one who tames Sheep Stealer.
For months. Building trust.
Yes, mind you, Sheep Stealer is never in the Vale. Sheep Stealer is on Dragonstone. The girl Nettles is from Driftmark, actually.
Yes.
And Dragonstone. She goes back and forth. She works the docks and stuff like that. Whatever.
Yes.
When Rhaenyra calls out for the dragon seeds, and everybody's going for the dragon soul and this and that and third, she's one of the last riders to come forth. She knows about Sheep Stealer. She goes to the mountain and how she tames Sheep Stealer. She brings a goat for him and slaughters it every night and cooks it for him and leaves it, and she sits nearby. Because Sheep Stealer is known to be a very quiet, keep to himself dragon. Doesn't bother anybody. He stays to himself. He's very shy, actually.
Like her.
Yes. He eventually gets used to her. Now, mind you, this is over, like Elsa said, about, I think within a month, a good month and maybe a couple of weeks, it takes her to do this. It gets to the point where Sheepsilla gets used to her. Then he allows her to ride him. Now, her parentage also is she is known to be a Targaryen bastard as well. Okay? You know, and they actually have a good idea who it might be, but you know, since that character's not here,
but
we don't know about that.
We don't know if she was. This is speculation. This is speculation.
That was told by a certain person that was happening. Right. We don't know what was actually happening, but I'm concerned that they're still going to do it, Elsie, because they did it with Aemon. I think they're going to do it.
I don't think they're going to do it like that.
I'm afraid.
I'm not saying they wouldn't, but I don't see.
Mark it here. I'm afraid.
I'm afraid. But Daemon wanting the crown, he wouldn't do that. Now, will he make her like his favorite daughter? Yes.
I'm afraid they're going to do it.
Let's explain to the people what she's afraid that this is going to turn into Aemon Alicent kissing by the fireplace situation, because it is assumed that Daemon and Nettles in the book were between the sheets. Now, what other people said,
and honestly,
is that
was around them for that time.
Right. Daemon took a liking to Nettles. I think he was more curious about Nettles, curious that this person, without any training, took on this wild dragon and is not only bonded, but controlling this dragon. And he was teaching.
And never disobeyed her. He never disobeyed her.
Sheepstealer never disobeyed her. Never disobeyed Nettles. And he took a liking to Nettles and was teaching her the old ways, teaching her about her dragon, Valerian, all that stuff. He was actually teaching Nettles, and he was fascinated, and he didn't know what her lineage was. And again, for us, as you know, our people, as Trey said, this was supposed to be our black character, but they made all Daemon's kids black. But they are blending the story in a way that we don't understand or respect it up to this point. Because again, what is going to happen, and we're going to talk about it after the fact, is Daemon going to have to decide between his child and his queen. So the thing is that this ain't going down where we are. Hey, holy moly, this ain't going down where we want it to go. And if they do it, if we kiss it, that's again, it's going to wreck the fandom if they do that.
Freyna has a storyline that has to happen at a certain point. Okay? They did this in the original Game of Thrones. They combined a couple of character storyline for streamline point, but usually the characters they combined, it was in the same facility at all times. Like they did with Sir Jorah. They kind of combined him with another storyline, but those two characters was always near each other, so it kind of made sense. Rhaena and Nettles characters never interact.
Never.
They're in two different spots at all times.
Two different.
Which leads me back to my soapbox. Elsie, okay. First, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up now. What is Rhaena supposed to be doing?
She is supposed to be traveling with Rhaenyra's children, okay? Traveling to a safe place. Traveling across the seas on a ship. The story is it's supposed to be that, you know, that ship gets intercepted by the Triarchy. That's the story in the book.
I'm going to get back to that.
But she's supposed to be with the churn in them, making sure they're safe and not running off for her own fairy tale.
Well, not just the children. The children are Aegon the younger Aegon, and Viserys.
And Jeffrey.
No, Jeffrey's still back at Dragonstone with Rhaenyra. He's still there. He's not with them. He's still there.
Oh, okay.
Because he has to go with her to King's Landing. Remember? He has to go with her.
Not Jace, Jeffrey.
No, Joffrey. His name is Joffrey.
Joffrey, yes.
He's still at Dragonstone.
Was with a veil.
No, It's only Aegon and Viserys. Joffrey's still there. Only Aegon and Viserys.
She kept her strong children close to her.
Wait. Yeah. that and she's supposed to be guarding 3 eggs. 3 dragon eggs. She got one job. Watch these kids, protect these eggs, and serve Lady Aaron. That's where they were supposed to be going.
But Lady Aaron pissed her off. Lady Aaron pissed her off.
I don't care. You got one job to protect these kids. Why are you out here running the streets trying to find this daggone dragon you heard about? Then you trying to tame this wild dragon. And let's keep it real. They flipped the Nettle story, okay? She didn't tame Sheep-Stealer. Sheep-Stealer tamed her. Because Sheep-Stealer brought the old sheep back to her, roasted it for her and had this to eat. That should have told you right then and there who's in charge, okay? Not you, me, okay? I go where I want to go. I'll listen to you. You kind of cool. You look pathetic. I'm sorry. I got to say it. It's the ugliest dragon I ever seen in my life. This is the ugliest dragon I ever seen in my life. Sheep-Stealer is not depicted as this. This is ugly. What is that?
Hold on now. That?
Yes.
It's wild. It's in the wild.
It's ugly. There's plenty of wild dragons. There's plenty of wild dragons that look better than that.
Look at the spikes. Look at the spikes at the top. It's like the wing isn't finished or formed.
It's burnt.
Come on now.
It's burnt. It rubbed off. Nah, this is ugly. That's an ugly dragon.
This is a roughing dragon. This is the dragon that grew up in Flea Bottom.
Ugly dragon. This is it's ugly. That's an ugly dragon. Okay. Ugly.
He has character.
No, he don't. You've seen the memes they're making of this right now. This is ridiculous. Calling him a YN. Oh my God.
I saw that. And it's the wrong face. I made a comment about it. Where's the underbite?
Oh my God. How Sheep-Stealer is described in the books, it's not this.
No, it's not this at all.
Not even close. Not even close. Okay? But anyway, she's riding this dragon. Okay, she's riding the dragon. Where did she decide to ride the dragon to?
Home. She goes home.
Goes back to
Dragonstone.
We made it back, Sheep-Stealer. Oh, there's a fight going over here. I know. Let's go over here and help.
No. Again, Trey, what you said, the dragon is in control. Sheep-Stealer turned.
And then she said, let's go help.
Let's go help. Sheep-Stealer, again, as you said, is in control. As Sheep-Stealer is in the book. So, again, Rhaena comes up. She unexpectedly joins this battle. Again, the young people are out here who ain't got no battle experience, and they join in the fray. And the wild dragon Sheep-Stealer, that is now Rhaena's dragon, is uncontrollable, unleashing chaotic dragon fire and burns friend and foe alike. It don't matter who you are, you are getting burned. It's because first to flame, and it's like, oh heck no, everybody gonna get it. Now Baela, not Baela, Rhaena, this is her insecure, in my mind, it's her emotions. Remember they say how the dragons, they come in and they take on the emotions and stuff. She also don't know half of the friend or foe. She just knows her granddaddy ships. She knows her granddaddy ships, that's it. But she don't know that.
Oh my God.
Baela sees this dragon handling her granddaddy and ships, and she's like, I don't recognize this dragon. Yeah. Let me go handle this dragon.
She went to attack. She thought it was an enemy dragon.
Yes.
It was burning everything.
So that's why Baela jumps in and goes after the dragon. When she sees her sister on there,
they're also Boom Dancer. No. It's amazing how the dragons were listening because they've been training them since they were daggone kids.
Since birth. So you're going to take an untamed dragon that you never even flew before, but one time you're going to take this dragon to war.
And mind you, Now I'm gonna give Sheep Stealer some bail right here and there. He goes, she flies up against a trial ship. She said your cars. He burns that ship. Good to go.
Yes.
Cool. Then what happens? He's flying low and he's getting bombarded by fire
Yes. From the triarchy.
no, from both sides. He gets hits from both sides, actually. From the Valarian, they don't know who this dragon is either. What the heck? What is this?
Nobody knows.
He getting fired upon. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot what they call the sling.
The scorpion.
No, not the scorpion. They're shooting the fire pots. It's a certain name for it.
Okay.
But anyway, they're shooting the fire pots at each other, and he gets hit from both sides.
Yes.
He gets mad. It's like, you know what? Burn everything. Makes sense.
And again, as Jaguar is saying, Reina is scared. She's unsure. The dragon is taking on her emotions.
Yeah. Never should have been there. Ever. Meanwhile, Jace and Baylor has been dodging very smart contractions by the triarchy. They call it, it's an R word, they call it
not Jace. Jace was flying too low and he got himself hemmed up.
No, the first time
and she had to
he
come
got
save
hit,
him.
It caught they never seen that before. It caught his reins. Baylor had to come and save him. Before Raider showed up, they were dodging those things. We got to the things are these harpoon
the first
situations.
time he was hit.
He got hit.
Yes.
It caught his harness. He caught his harness. He almost got drugged down.
You are forgetting. Okay, I need you to remember, and everybody who watching this, okay, I need y'all to understand what we're looking at. Bayla, even though we watching this and she did this, she is the child to Damon and her mama. Damon and her mama used to always be doing these battle things. They used to play battle all the time. She's also the granddaughter of the sea snake. She has been doing trials with her dad, mama, for the longest time before the mama, passed away. She has been doing this, watching this, and I'm sure her uncle was also helping her. She looked more battle ready, I should say, for this than even Jace. I don't know how much training Jace had.
We saw Jace training since he was a kid in King's Landing. He's been just as long, actually, since he's older, just as long as Baylor. Yes, we saw them since they were children training on these dragons. Now, this is my mistake. We should have seen more of them flying these dragons. We should have seen more of that. Well, we saw Baylor the most because she was sent out as a scout a lot of the times. My problem is, well, it ain't a problem. My point was, when they first attacked those fleets of ships, they were doing fine. Then they tried to adjust it by bringing out those harpoons with the rope and the anchor on them. But him and Baylor, they'd never seen that before. He got hit. Him and Vermax got hit. They got it caught onto his harness and almost drug him down. Baylor saved him. Baylor saved him. After that, they kept shooting those suckers at them. They both were dodging them and yet still burning ships. Things didn't go awry until Raina showed up and it started burning ships on all sides. Baylor looked over first. It was like, Moon Dancer, turn and attack. Flew over. Oh, snap, my sister. Moon Dancer, evade. Duck out. She's still trying to attack Baylor. Yep. But, oh, that's my sister. No. All this. Jake sees it. Sees his patrol is in danger. Getting chased by the dragon. He don't know who it is either. He turns and attacks. He says, Vermax, go help Moon Dancer. Boom. Go over. He gives chase. He's about to attack. He had a clear shot because he says, Vermax, kill the rider. Then he looks and sees, that's Raina. Vermax, veer away. He starts veering away. Then she still starts chasing him all throughout the ships. And while he's running, that's when he gets hit in the side. Vermax gets hit clean in the side. And it was up after that. It was up.
It was up. It was absolutely up because what happens is Vermax is drowned. This is the last thing that Vermax is seeing while Vermax is drowned because that harpoon has a weight on it, y'all, in order to bring and keep the dragon down, either down to drown or down enough for them to be able to then control it by having a closer target, a less moving target. And so while Jace unharnessed himself, and they keep showing us that, y'all, they keep showing us those harnesses every season because it's going to be a major factor later on in the coming episodes. He unharnessed himself. It was a factor now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and he floats. He gets onto a piece of driftwood, and an arrow immediately hits him in the back.
If
and
only he was like, wearing some mail, but whatever.
He's like, what the heck? And he turns around and it gets him in the neck and his chest. He's not wearing any armor. He's just wearing leather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, he is unprepared for battle. So Jace now is floating and his dragon is drowning. And that is the last thing his dragon sees is him floating up top.
Now,
done.
This leads me to my next big problem. This whole storyline. Okay. Remember when I said, Elson said, you know, the boys were supposed to have been put on the ship and led away. That's actually in the books. They actually never brought that up in the show yet.
No. And that's a major thing because that was supposed to be the end of another dragon.
Now, yes. This reason why I brought this up, okay? And real quick, I'm gonna tell y'all the real story. Real quick session. Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask you a question first. Why were the three other dragon riders waiting at Heron Hall?
Because they wanted to change the story.
Yes, and we know they didn't set it up properly, but I know why they were there. They were waiting on Aemon. But right. they ain't gonna wait for longer. They've been waiting for days. Which is still weird to me because that means Rhaenyra had to send him right after she talked to Allison, and Allison had just got back. It's bad. Whatever. Okay. Here is not Cannibal.
Not Cannibal.
Cannibal is nowhere near this mess. He's nowhere near this story.
The dragon seeds were supposed to be part of this battle.
Okay. Now, yes. What actually happens? The dragon sees Rhaenyra, Jace, everybody is at Dragonstone. The only person who's technically out in the field at Heron Hall is Daemon. And he's sitting there to draw primarily Aemon out. You know? So the Battle of Rest has just happened. The queen, who never was, has gone and lowered Bailey's. There's a big loss for them. Okay. They get word that the Triarchy is attacking the Gullet. But the reason why it's so important, right before that happens, Rhaenyra decides to send her two youngest children, Aegon and Viserys, to Pentos, since they got friends there, especially from Daemon. They know Daemon, so they will protect her sons. They put them on the ship and they sail them in that direction. When they find out that the Triarchy is attacking, they realize that the ship that they put their sons on is in between the Triarchy and Valarian fleet. Mm-hmm. So Jace steps up, and mind you, Jace is a lot more competent in the books. It's a lot more competent. Let me just put it this way. Jace is actually the one who trains all the dragon seeds, and it's including Nettles that we get in the book, how to fly and fight with the dragons. He's the one that's in charge of that. He trains them, and they become his personal fighting force. His mother puts him in charge of that. So when they realize that their little brother's in danger, Rhaenyra does say, I might need to go out myself. Chase says, same thing happens here. He says, no, mother, you can't go. You're the queen. You have to organize and order everything. I will go. And I will also help the Valorian fleet out because they're about to be outnumbered in the Gullet. He takes all the dragon seeds that's Oath the White, Hugh the Hammer, Adam of Hall, and Nettles, including himself, 5 dragons, out into this battle. They jump the Triarchy. It's not as close in the books as it is here. They straight up. First of all, the Triarchy almost has no shot against the Valorian fleet because of Corliss. He's that good of a captain. It's still a fight though. But when the dragons show up, they almost lay waste to the Triarchy fleet. But they spot the ship that his little brothers is on. And they noticed, and Jace noticed that the Triarchy was surrounding that ship. Now, there's something going on the ship at the same time with the 2 boys that we're not going to talk about right now. It may come up later, we don't know.
Right.
But he spots the ship that his 2 brothers is on. This is why he decides to start flying low, because when he noticed when they have these scorpion stuff, he's flying high above them and just burning them. When he spots his brother's ship, is when Jace decides to fly low. His mission, how it's explained in the books, he wants to come through the ship that's attacking his mother's ships. He wants to use Vermax to attack the mast and break their sails so they can't pursue them anymore and allow them to leave away. He's going to come back, break back around, and then land on the ship to go find his brother. The ship is big enough for Vermax to land on. As he's flying low, yeah, he's a decent size. Even in the books, he's a very decent size. He's not massive. But these ships are described to be a lot larger than they are than what was shown on film that we see. They're a little larger, especially the ship that he's planning on landing on. As he's coming in to attack this mast, how it's described in the books, he's dodging hook scorpion after hook scorpion, and one captain, he strafes the ship. As he strafes the ship with Dragonfire, one of the Triarchy lets off a lucky bolt, and it catches Vermax to the side. As it hits him, he flies over another ship, drags the rope chain, and breaks that mast that he wanted to break. But he ends up going down in the process. And then he gets hit with the bolt in the side of the neck, with the arrow, and that's how he.
But the other dragon I was saying is his brother. If Jaguar Actual remembers, his brother has a very young dragon that was a newly hatched.
Aegon does. Aegon.
We saw it in the Vale. But they were too young. His little brother is saved by his dragon, but the dragon takes on arrows. And he is dragged over to land. The dragon barely makes it, but he takes him over to land. But there is a storyline.
Yes.
There's a storyline for that.
I don't know if they're going to do it now. I don't know.
I don't think so.
It's weird because Aegon makes it back on his dragon is just big enough for him to ride. It just makes it back to land. But he feels so bad because he had to leave his brother, his younger brother, Viserys. And he gets captured and gets taken to lease. That's why you was bringing it up, and the reason why the other 2 cities got mad at the lease ships when they realized they captured Viserys. That's when they pulled out. Then they started pulling back their forces because they had a good hostage and they disappeared. So that's why the 2 cities mad at them. But my thing is, Jace does end up perspiring, but the reason why he does it in the books is because he's trying to save his 2 brothers.
Right, and he wasn't trying to get away from Sheep Stealer, all that, as we said.
He wasn't being foolish.
Right, Sheep Stealer was at least under training at this point in the books, but
they were winning.
And they were winning. To keep on going in the of course, in the aftermath of this, Jace and Vermax are no more. This is going to be devastating for Rhaenyra because this is another son that she has lost. But also, we don't know where Lord Corliss is. He went overboard in his armor. He is beneath the waves, and we hear Alan for the first time call out, "Dad,
Father!" They better not off him early. Oh, that'll be a riot situation.
No, they're not going to off him because we see him in highlights in the future.
Okay.
But
I try
Alan,
not to watch videos.
right, what
So for a
Alan
show
does
like this.
do, Alan does do close combat with Lohar,
Mhm.
and he does end her with his Valyrian knife, and he still doesn't know where his dad is.
Yeah, gotta
His
find
dad
him.
is under the waves, but he just had a close battle with the leader of the Triarchy. Now remember, he's a teenager in the book, and for him to be fighting the leader of the Triarchy is because of his sorrow with his dad. Now
He's still supposed to be a young man, even in the show. He just look old. The actor they
just look old.
chose, yeah, the actor they chose, he's good. I like him.
Yes, I
But
like him too, but he's just old.
He
But
just
let's
looks
talk
old.
about him in the book. Him in the
Yeah.
book does try to get a dragon.
He gets harmed. Yes,
Yes,
he gets harmed.
harmed.
His
trying
brother
to get
has
a
to come
dragon.
in, and actually, I think he does go for sea smoke. If I'm correct, doesn't he first?
I can't remember if it's Sea Smoke, but he does go for a dragon in the
Yeah,
book.
I think it's sea smoke.
Was it Sea Smoke or was it Cannibal? No, because his
No,
brother had Sea
Cannibal.
Smoke.
Yeah,
His brother had Sea Smoke.
but that was afterwards. That was, well, I don't know what. It wasn't the cannibal. The cannibal is known and seen, but it never gets involved in anything in this whole story. The cannibal is like this unseen threat that just eats other dragons and comes out every once in a while, and it's terrible. This, that, that, but nobody tries to go and get the cannibal. Nobody, because it's too wild. It's too big, too wild. It ain't happening. He burns anybody or anything within sight. Other dragons as well. So the cannibal, nah.
But he does go for a dragon that does light him up. Pun
Yeah.
intended.
I can't think of which one though.
He is burnt, and I was wondering if that would happen.
I don't think they're going to do it.
No, I don't think they're going to do it. Now, I'm going to save that. The next part we see is Harrenhal and the Isle of Faces. We mentioned it just a little bit.
That was cool.
The three
I hated them there, but what happened there was cool.
Exactly. They're stationed there on the Isle of Faces near Harrenhal, and y'all know Damon was seeing all kinds of stuff. Now, Ulf is telling us how he knew he was a dragon seed because a sorcerer paid him to use him and abuse him. Yes, a red sorcerer, a servant of the Lord of Light. For the night is dark and full of terrors. He knew the terrors in that night because he allowed this person to use him, and he knew he had king's blood. Now they're talking about he just wants a castle. You get more ladies with a castle, and Adam has to tell him you have to be a lord, not a knight, to get a castle. That is going to set us up for Ulf. Ulf is in this for the money. Mm-hmm. He's in it for the money. Okay, he don't put him like Bronn. Don't think it's like Bronn, like how Bronn was still a likable character. Ulf is not going to be. Okay,
they're still trying to make us like these two guys. They are trying to make very hard to like us two guys. Adam is easy to like.
Yes,
that work was done. They're trying to make us like these other two guys, and it ain't clicking for me.
Right, it ain't either, because when he asked Hugh, so who your pappy? Hugh was not gonna answer because Hugh don't tell nobody how he got his lineage. Yeah. But
which I don't know if I truly believe that one either, but whatever. Because he claimed it was from Jaehaerys the first. Jaehaerys the Conciliator?
No, it's not Jaehaerys. We know what it is in the books. We know who his mama is.
Well, yes. But in the show, that's why I have a problem with it. If they would have kept it in the books, it would have made perfect sense. You wouldn't have to do that. It just makes sense.
Yes.
Because in the books, it's supposed to be from Sarah Targaryen, one of the daughters of Jaehaerys and Alysanne. And
he would be nephew to Daemon and them.
Yeah, I'm trying to put this delicate, but she turned out to be for the streets. That was her storyline.
Yes.
She was super for the streets. She
was laying with every and anybody, and so she was shunned by the royal family, and then she ended up going across the narrow sea to Essos and being one of the top premier madams.
Courtesan.
Yeah.
Actually, I still think she is the courtesan that we see in, well, not see, but we hear about in Game of Thrones, the Black Swan.
Right.
We hear about all the time. I think she's still the courtesan.
She probably is. She probably is.
You know, but yeah, she well, not in the Black. Never mind. She descended of that the courtesan.
Right.
But yeah, she goes and becomes a great courtesan and this and that third. But yeah, Sarah Targaryen, that was woo, that's a story. That is
a story. That is
wow.
definitely a story that
she could have been a whole season by herself for her shenanigans.
She could be.
The whole season by herself. Yeah, she belonged to the streets, and it was crazy how much she belonged to the streets. And we ain't even sugarcoating it. It's like, wow. Like, yeah, what was Jay Harris and his wife supposed to do with her? It was ridiculous what she was getting into. It was, and she was involved in like her handmaidens. It was bad. It was really bad.
That's how they termed it. That it was really bad. That she was she was basically like Aegon.
All these girls got yes. All these, she got all her handmaidens, screwing herself pregnant, and they didn't know who the pappy was. That's how bad it got. And then included knights, lords, a Kingsguard member. Oh, it was bad.
It was
like,
bad.
Wow, it was bad.
It was bad.
Like, yo, and she's a princess. Oh, and then she was sassy. Like I said, it would have been a great story if they would have did Jaehaerys. I want to show it Jaehaerys personally, but I think he was too good of a Targaryen king for them to put on TV for some daggone reason.
But this is what
yes,
they see. This is a green man. They do see
Antlered
him.
Mm-hmm.
What happens was the dragons were a little bit restless. Ulf is over there using the bathroom, and he sees a black ram, just like Daemon did. And here Adam and Hugh, meanwhile, the dragons are a little restless, and they look up and they see a green man. They see this character walking away, looking at them, and then walking away. The dragons ain't do nothing to the character. Again, they're supposed to be very magical, part of the whole lineage of the children in the forest, all of that. So they get spooked because Alice Rivers also comes through, and they say, "Who are you? How you get here?" Because the dragons ain't even announced her arrival. And said, yeah, I'm a witch. Because she done heard Ulf talk about the wizard or the man who worshipped the Lord of Light. And she's like, I'm a witch. So what's up? And they decide to leave. But Adam is like, we need to stay here. Our queen said to stay here. She's like, no, you are missing on the battle. Your queen needs you. What is happening is she needs them gone so that Aemon can arrive, and all that shenanigans she's up to with Aemon needs to happen.
Which leads me to think, wow, they should have never been there.
They should have never been there, but it is the only way to have them legitimately be away from the battle, because they couldn't afford to have 7 dragons in a battle. They couldn't afford that CGI. So I understand. If it's a way to have them away, that was the easiest thing and the easiest way to do it.
I hate it.
I dislike it, but I understand it. That change in the story I can handle because of budgetary reasons, if that's the reason.
I
understand. I
call bull.
So the green man is there. He's guarding the sacred wood. Alice Rivers gets them gone. And the part that I left for last is the Battle of Red Fork. Daemon and the River Forces, Oscar Tully. They are there. We see the sigil for House Lannister, the Brackens, and House Vance.
Tully is there too.
No, I'm saying Tully is on Daemon's side, but House Lannister, Bracken, and another house on the other side. House Vance? I may have that wrong. And
The
what we
brackets.
do see over Oscar Tully's shoulder is Allison Blackwood. Did you see her, Trey?
Yeah.
I know you've been waiting on her.
Yeah, she's cool. I like her.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be another bad AB on this show. Y'all bet.
I don't know the way they
Better be.
We didn't say that a couple times with a lot of characters.
She better be. She's going to be a force to be reckoned with, even
We
later
hope.
on in the.
We hope.
Damon tells them, yeah, they're like, what are we going to do with these bodies? Caraxi's going to handle this. He going to have a meal. He going to have snacks. Okay, he can burn them. He'll sanitize the area. No. Oscar Tully again, putting Damon in his place. I hate to say it. Saying, not the Rivermen.
I'm tired of that.
Rivermen are returned to the mud.
I'm tired of that, but whatever. You know.
I know. I'm tired of Oscar Tully, wet behind the ear. Now, finally, the leader of House Tully, and he putting Damon in his place constantly.
Don't make sense. I don't like it.
Me neither. Not for who Damon is. Now, Damon and them hear drumbeat because somebody's coming through the forest. And Damon is like, on me, line, form behind me. And the winter wolves show up. And they show up bearing a gift tray. What was the gift that they had for Damon?
The other Lannister head.
They had the head of the other Lannister twin. One twin went over in the water.
Jason, twins.
Yes.
Jason twins.
His twin was thrown overboard by Lohar in the Gullet, and now he was beheaded because Oscar Tully told Damon he got away. Well, he ran straight into the Winter Wolves. Now we see the leader of the Winter Wolves walk forth, Roderick Dustin, aka Roddy the Ruin, and he says something to Damon that he actually said to Lady Frey in the books. What did he say, Trey?
We've come to which part? The part I remember.
We've come to perish for the Red Queen.
Yeah, come to die for the Dragon Queen. Come to perish for the Dragon Queen.
I thought that was a pivotal moment. I love the actor. I think that is one of the best castings that they have done for this season so far. The castings before have been good, but I'm heavily waiting. But they are there though. Why are they there, Trey? Why did the Winter Wolves sent south? Why did they pick up their arms as old men? What did they do, the Winter Wolves, every winter for the North and for their family?
Well, first off, this is fruit bearing from the tree that Jace set up in season 2. They've been roasting Jace. It is messed up. It's messed up. Because I get why, because the way they set this up in this season was ridiculous and stupid. But you keep forgetting Jace was responsible for doing a lot of stuff that's bearing fruit now. Jace had to go to the North, treat with my man, Kragon Stark. Now, they better not mess that up when he comes up. But, that's probably 4th season. You got to wait for that. But, he treated with Kragon Stark, took him to the wall, showed him some stuff. Like, hey, okay, this is what we can do. Winter is coming. Our old gray beards, they know during this time, they're going to be a burden on the family. So it's an honor to either go to the Night's Watch or you go off and just someplace. But since there's a war, why not go off in battle? So about 2,000 of them, of the Winter Wolves, come down and heading south for them to get to the Golden Tooth, where they're at. Jace then had to go to the Freys of the crossing and make a deal with them to secure their passage so they can show up when they needed to help David out with the head of, what was his name, Lannister? Jason and what Lannister?
I forgot.
He was the one that was trying to, he tried to offer his hand to Rhaenyra.
Yes, he did. Yes,
yeah,
he
but
did. He was the Cavalier one.
Yeah. So because of Jace's efforts and negotiating, there's some victories that was had here.
But again, for the North, because
Tyler.
winter is
Tyler.
because Tyler.
It was Tyler. So thank you, Jaguar.
because winter is coming. Thank you, Tywin Lannister. Raises the guy. His mom's back
Yeah,
out like he was. He
he
was.
was. He what? He made the most sense a lot of the times. Like, mama, what you doing? Why are you trusting Allison? This don't. I ain't gonna lie. I'm personally getting tired of this thing between Allison and Rhaenyra. I'm getting tired of it. I saw it when doing season 1 when they set this up, and I'm like, when they did this change, they're gonna make this in a way that how this began is how this gonna end. Somewhat, at least between them.
Right.
And I don't care. Okay, I don't care. I could care. They've. I don't, even if they are the best actresses on the show, they have some of the best scenes. Personally, I don't know, but they do have good scenes together. But I'm tired of them trying to find some daggone excuse for having them to talk of these last couple seasons. Super secret meetup meetings. All of a sudden, she's in Dragonstone, she's in King's Landing with this secret. Y'all supposed to be at war. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But it happened. Here we are. So, yeah, she lost a great asset.
She lost a great ambassador, a great heir. The Winter Wolves, what I was saying, y'all, is that they do leave the north. When winter comes, it is very harsh. When winter comes, there are limited resources for the families. So as Trey said, the older men leave the north. Either they leave and take up with the Night's Watch, because back in those days, it was an honor to work for the Night's Watch, or they just leave and wander, not like vagabonds, but they do wander and allow themselves to perish so that whatever is at home in the stores and, for the winter is for their wives and families. Now, these winter wolves, they say they are older men. They are leaving their home. It's like, why just perish and just leave? Why don't we leave and, perish when we are at war, perish as a warrior and on the battlefield? So they are leaving in order so that the family could have resources for the winter. So the great thing is what will happen to the winter wolves at the end of this story. Y'all will find out. Y'all will see how the winter wolf seeds are scattered amongst the South. And it definitely will give you an insight to the Game of Thrones a little bit, which is much later. But definitely keep an eye out for Roderick Dustin or Roddy the Ruin, because he is going to be a great warrior on the field. He gonna take it there. He really is going to take it there. Jace is a politician, not a warrior. Diplomacy is his cup of tea, not battle. Well, we see that.
In show version, yes. In the show version.
Yeah, we
book
see
version,
that.
He was both. So when it happens in the book, it is sad how you feel it. Like, I remember reading that for the first time. I was like, oh, no, not Jace. Because you like Jace. You like Jace a lot in the books. Oh, it's sad. You're like, oh, not my boy. Not my boy.
The difference with the book too, y'all, is that Admiral Lohar, who is leading the Triarchy, she didn't perish in the book.
Well, it's a guy, actually.
Well, yeah, but she didn't. Lohar
that character
did not perish in the book.
That character's alive, so yeah, they doing all kind of things here.
Right, Sheep Stealer is right. Sheep Stealer is not part of the naval engagement. She wasn't executed. I should say, Lohar wasn't executed during the Battle of the Gullet. Okay, yes. That did not happen, and this whole thing with Sheep Stealer did not happen the way they show it in the books. Okay,
and it's funny. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about this, and we were afraid of this.
Yeah,
remember that?
Yes,
we talked about this. That Rhaenyra's going to show up. She shouldn't be there. And then somehow they're going to make it her fault that Jace perished. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. Because they can't gloss over this. What is she going to say when she go back to Dragonstone? What is she going to tell Rhaenyra? Because there's a lot of blame to go around. The King Guards member, he should be off as soon as you get out of that room for disobeying orders. That's crazy. Baylor, the only person who's going to get out, well, no, Baylor got to catch some smoke too, because you should have opened the door when Jace ran off to go to battle. But you didn't. You followed Jace. Number 3, Raina. What is she going to say to Raina? What can she do to Raina? Not only did you leave your charge, which the 2 princes and those dragon eggs, you took an untrained dragon to battle, and it cost the life of the crown prince.
Well, she's going to tell us she can't come to King's Landing, and that's true. You can't come anywhere near civilized folks and what we have going on, because that dragon will probably end King's Landing. So Raina first of all, she's going to go into a depression. She's going to be crying. Damon, once again, going to have to tell her, get your behind up. We got work to do. Don't let Jace perish in vain. That's what we see, okay?
I don't even think Damon, this is why I dislike this. Damon should, for something of this magnitude, I'll just say this, y'all. Something of this magnitude, Damon should be there to chastise or discipline his daughter how he see fit, how that might look. I don't know. But he's not going
to. He's not going to.
That's a problem.
No, here's a problem. Jace is the problem. He set it up by locking his mama up.
Okay, fine.
He decided to go into battle. Here's my thing.
Who's going to take the blame?
Who's going to set up the conversation between the sisters? My man just died because of you.
Oh, yeah. Like I say, all of this has to happen. But I have a feeling they're going to gloss it a little bit. They're going to gloss it.
She gonna be
something this serious? Something this serious?
Yeah, Baylor's going to be in grief because now she has no husband, okay? No prospect. And she's going to have to take matters into her own hand because they're going to try and marry her off to somebody else.
Well, that's not going to happen because we know what's going to happen with that.
We know what's going to happen.
But I don't think that's going to happen. Not right now. The part I see right now is a big boo-boo just happened. They're in trouble. What's going to be punishment or if at all? And I'll put it like this. I'll put you this way. Like, if George was actually writing this, if George was actually writing the episode, there's no way this would happen and a punishment would not happen to those girls. Something would definitely happen.
Oh, heck.
I don't know what. But this show, I don't know.
Both of them, because Baylor went with Jace because she did tell him this is treason.
It is.
And still went along with him.
And you're mad at it.
Raina is bringing this uncivilized dragon into the fold.
And left.
Left. She had no choice. The dragon took her. He's like, I'm out.
That's an excuse. She should have never been looking for that dragon in the first place.
She shouldn't have. Because now we got to ask you, well, where are the children? Where are the children? Where are the eggs?
And that's my problem. See, I think there's a change in the storyline they're about to do. Why do I feel like, okay, if you remember, Lady Erin, the way they set this up, which is insane in the book, Lady Erin wanted, if you're going to show support for Raina, she wanted a dragon to protect the Eyrie. She sent Raina with 3 dragon eggs because, Rhaenyra said, well, she didn't specify what type of dragon. That does happen, just like it is, okay?
Right.
Except for the 2 boys. The 2 boys was sent with them. But they changed the story. Now the 2 boys are sent. Those are hostages. Straight up. Those are hostages that you have just left in the Eyrie. I don't know what's going to happen with these boys. Why do I feel like in order for the things to happen the way they kind of need to happen, why do I feel like one of those boys about to get sold off or something?
I think because it is going to happen. Or they're going to, one of them is going to be here's what I think. I think one of them is going to be smuggled away.
We know
It's
which
just
one.
kind of like Bran and Rickon. One go
Yeah,
one way, the other one go the other way.
but how they going to set it up? And
I think they possibly will set it up that Aegon gonna snatch one of them. He go. You know what's gonna happen on Dragonstone. You know what's gonna happen on Dragonstone.
the problem is, what should? Oh God! Oh, you mean burnt
Uh-huh.
Aegon? Oh God!
Uh-huh.
No!
Uh-huh.
No! 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 Please don't do
You can
this.
say all you want. You can say all you want.
But at
here's my
what point in
problem.
time? Because she still has to go to King's Landing.
Yes, but
That
here's
has
the
to happen.
problem. Here's the problem. By getting rid of the Lannisters right now, getting rid of both brothers, getting rid of the fleet, the Triarchy fleet and all that, the Lannisters were supposed to be Aemon's other military force other than his mother's cousin. So now it's kind of like
and Cole's out there still with his arm.
Right. No, I'm saying apart from
Yes.
Cole and his family, the Hightowers, now there's no other military to back them. You're dealing with exactly.
They're basically beat.
They should have
They
kept
don't know
the Lannisters around a little bit longer, but again, probably filming, probably budget.
I mean, we didn't even see the fight anyway, so
we didn't even see the fight. That was like the red. That was a battle at Red Fork. We didn't really see a fight. We didn't really see a battle, but
they gave us the Battle of the Gullet and did an old school Game of Thrones with like Tyrion battle. Oh, he just fell on the ground, and we didn't get to see the battle. I never liked when they did that. I never liked it. In this case, especially because this is the Dance of Dragons, it's supposed to be battle on top of battles. Yes, I would cut less out of this dialogue that y'all trying to stitch together, and to me, it's not working in the long run. And stick close to these battle scenes that's supposed to happen and the dialogue around that.
Yeah,
but they're not doing that.
But again, my concern is we know the end of Christian Cole is near, y'all. He is painting that shield his family color, and since he is a Kingsguard, he is no longer a member of his household. So him sitting there painting that was your forewarning that he's basically tossed away his vows and now is back to being Christian Cole of his house by using that shield. He's supposed to be Kingsguard.
How many episodes this season? Is it 8? I'm gonna say by EP3 we're gonna see the end of Cole.
Yeah, by 3. If he lasts till 4, it's because we didn't see him in one episode.
Yeah.
Which
is probably gonna be 2. We might not.
What are you looking forward to in the next episode, Trey?
Better writing, but I'm not gonna get that. But so I'm sorry. Listen, and this is not just because I know how the real story goes. I'm looking at it just for as a watcher viewer, does this make sense? And some of this stuff does not make sense from the characters that you set up, especially in season 1. It don't make sense. You got some of these.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you got it.
I'm just looking forward to more Ormond Hightower and his perfume bottle. Ormond Hightower and his perfume.
You're grasping for small things. I see you grasping for the small thing. Maybe they could do no. You know what I am looking forward to that they have built upon and spawned upon, even though it didn't happen the books this way, but they do it this way they do the show, and it is working. The relationship between Corlys and his sons, him improving that. I've been liking that.
Well, Adam is going in the preview. Adam is flying over the area to see if he can help his brother locate their father. And y'all, that is going to be the cover. That's going to be the cover of next week's recap that we're doing. It's Corlys laying in the water.
Jaguar is correct. As soon as they got saved the first time, they probably should have got the heck up out of there.
Yes.
My only issue with it is when you're watching it after they discovered they had those scorpion harpoon thingies. Baylor and Jace did adjust their strategy. They stayed a little higher, but was still burning chips, trying to help out. Things didn't go wrong again until Raina showed up with Sheep Stealer burning everything. And it forced them to interfere. Because they couldn't just stand by and let it happen. You cannot stand by. You see another dragon in the area burning your fleet, your troops. You cannot stand by and let that happen. I'm sorry. You cannot. You cannot do that. No. That's bad. You cannot do that. They had to interfere. The problem is once they realized it was Raina, yeah, it all went to craps after that. It all went to craps. It all went to craps. And I knew it was happening. We both knew it was happening. The moment they combined Nettle's storyline with Raina, I was like, that's not going to work. I mean, we said that last season. That's not going to work. That's weird. No, that's not going to work. And here we are. Ugh.
Here we are at the end of episode 1, and we already got Trey screaming twice.
It looks great, though. I have to give it. It looks great. I give him that. The battle scene, the battle scene, and the strategy on battle scene was done perfectly. I give them that.
Corliss looked good. Good.
The actors were acting. I will give them that. I can't blame them for the material that's given to them. Okay? I can't blame them for the material that they're given. But they are acting their behinds off in this episode, in this show. I give them that.
And we will leave you with Jace floating. That is the last thing his dragon sees above while the dragon is drowning. Is
that was
Jace
sad.
Floating. And it's gonna be sad when he's picked up by Baylor next episode and brought home to his mother, who's locked up in her castle. But all I know is Sheep Stealer better go back to the Vale.
Yeah.
But we know that ain't happening. Sheep Stealer gonna be at Sheep Stealer gonna be there to take a lead. Anyway, what is
they're doing it. That's why I said they're doing it. If Sheep Stealer were to fly off and go back to the Vale, then I would say, you know what? They're not doing it. They're gonna change it up. They're gonna do this different. But if Sheep Stealer stays with Raina and she has to go with her father, and he's basically taking her to help train her, like we said with Nettles, to help train her to how to train this dragon, I think they're going to do it. And I'm already disgusted.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you so much. Please make sure you hit that like button one good time. And we will be here next week again to talk to you. We will hopefully have more photos, and we will definitely have more conversation, let you know what's happening between the show and the book, and then bring it all together if it, corresponds with something from Game of Thrones or from A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We got you. So if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section, and Trey or I will answer you. And as I always say, I'll see you on the next one.